friends, it's Laura Godwin here. I'm back with another super frequently asked question, and I still have my nasally, nasty sounding voice, but hopefully the message comes loud and clear. So what I'm doing is just setting out on this path to answer questions through my YouTube channel that I answer a lot all the time. You're going to hear my dog Maple walking around. Her nails on the floor might be quite irritating, but hopefully she'll stay put. So I'm on this path of, the questions that get asked. A lot of times people are maybe even afraid to ask these questions in a public forum, but they come in through my inbox, they come in through text, they come in one-on-one, they come in from a lot of different ranks. It's not just questions that the top tiers are dealing with or the lower levels are dealing with. It is across the board. These questions are also things that have been asked since 2009 when I first became a leader. It's not really just something that we're dealing with now, or maybe something that was in the beginning of Cincy. It's across the board, and I just want to hit them head on. And I realize that sometimes we can benefit a lot from dealing with things and being prepared to deal with things that maybe haven't hit us yet, but we know will. And so anyway, let's talk about the next question. And this has been asked a lot. I'm just taking the way it was worded the very last time I was asked it. So, I'm feeling discouraged and in a rut. Does this ever happen to you, and how do you overcome it? Oh, honey, yes. Yes, all the yes. I think that no matter what we set out to do in life, you're going to face the challenge of at some point being either burned out or discouraged or in a rut. A lot of these emotions are very valid. It doesn't make the journey wrong. So for instance, I sometimes will get discouraged and feel a little lack of passion, even in my relationship with my husband. We've been married for almost 18 years, and there are just ebb and flows to even our relationship. When I feel those moments of maybe discouragement or frustration, does that mean that he's not the one for me all of a sudden after 18 years? No. There are also times in my fitness journey where I feel bored, I feel frustrated, I feel a lack of passion in my fitness journey. Does that mean that I shouldn't try to keep myself healthy and push my body to be the best version of myself possible? No. Likewise, I could go on and on, like even in my parenting. I get super frustrated in my parenting, super frustrated with my son, super frustrated with myself, completely just discouraged, feeling like an absolute failure. Does that mean that I'm not cut out to be a mom after 15 years? I think that I could just keep going on, and you could probably name things as well that you feel like that. Even though you know you're on the right path, there are just sometimes that frustration, discouragement hits you right in between the eyes. And how do you deal with it? I'm going to tell you how I deal with it. Again, as I've said before in previous YouTube videos, I'm not the expert on anything. Hopefully my experience and let's just say the amazing mentors that I've had, the books I've read, the YouTube videos that I've watched, the podcasts that I've listened to, and the things that I've just naturally seen in my life and my journey, hopefully that's given me a little bit of an idea of how to combat and deal with things. And so I'm happy to pass these things on to you, and hopefully they will become a source of maybe even to keep you out of the rut, to keep you out of the discouragement, right? Not just waiting until you get to that rock bottom spot, but how to keep you from there, from ever getting there. Hopefully I'll be able to impact your journey as well. So how do I deal with discouragement? Well, I'm going to tell you. Ever since I was a little girl, I can remember feeling my happiest whenever I was able to do something nice for others. Maybe it was a sick friend that I was drawing a picture for. Maybe it was, I can remember just like wrapping up little bitty things that I didn't even buy from a store and giving them to my friends. I remember doing that, and I remember how happy inside it made me. And to this day, if I ever have a down time or day where I wake up and I just feel super discouraged and do not feel passionate or inspired in my journey, I will immediately stop everything and see what I can do for others. Sometimes that looks like door dashing something to someone. Other times that looks like creating Happy Mail right here in my Scent studio, where I'm just putting together something that I feel like will make them smile whenever they get it. Sometimes that is just going to an inspiration of mine on social media, messaging them with a heartfelt message, just letting them know how important they are and how special they are, not just to my journey, but to others as well. I don't know what it looks like for you, but when I stop and I serve someone else that's super deserving, whether it's at my church, whether it's through our, just our everyday lives in the community, there's always someone that we can serve. And I feel like that is like the antidote to just keeping discouragement at bay. When you are able to serve and invest in someone else that might have it way harder than what you do, takes your heart and your mind off of the troubles that maybe you can't fix in your own life, and repositions your outlook and your direction, your focus, your everything onto someone else that you can impact. That right there will get my butt out of a rut in a heartbeat. Maybe that looks like a team member underneath you that could use a little encouraging word. Maybe that looks like an upline that's above you that just needs to hear, hey, I appreciate the part you've played in my journey. I don't know what it looks like to you. Maybe it might actually look like nothing in Cincy at all and something outside in your community. Maybe there's a nonprofit in your zip code that you can invest in. Maybe there's a nonprofit online that you can invest in, partnering up with them to make a difference in the lives of others. Man, that is going to keep your discouragement at bay. That's going to make you wake up with a happy heart and go to sleep with a happy heart as well. Discouragement also, I believe, comes from an inward focus, yes, when we're constantly looking at things that are happening. But I also feel like that discouragement also can be the source of a pattern of a lot of negative energy. And so I really try to keep negative energy and influences at bay. Like, I don't do drama. I tell everybody I'm absolutely allergic to drama. I don't watch the news. If I need to know something that's happening in my world, I'm sure that it will come across social media in some platform. But even with social media, I don't get on news feed. I don't have time for news feed. I don't need to know what's happening in other people's lives to live my best life. And so when I do get on social media, I'm hitting the platforms that I'm responsible for, my VIP page, my team page, my director's page, the groups that I watch that keep me inspired. I know what those groups are. I do not get into groups that pull me down. I'm only going to the groups that lift me up. And that's how I become my most positive self. And I believe that we have a tendency to gravitate towards negative influences, even in our everyday life. Statistics show that we are more prone to listen to a negative story than a positive one. And the news media definitely picks up on this, capitalizes on our tendency to be drawn to, to negative influences, but not me. I'm going to fight every single day to stay away from the things that draw me into a negative mindset. Friends, things I watch on TV, movies, music. I'm always trying to find the light of my day and not the darkness. And so I just want to tell you that a lot of times, I just need to say that a lot of times when I am mentoring someone that's discouraged, I find that it has nothing to do with Cincy, even though they're coming to me saying, Laura, I'm discouraged in my Cincy business. I'm stuck in a rut. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling really, like not passionate, not inspired, not motivated, not. But when I ask them this one question, usually it's eye-opening. I just stop and I say, okay, can I ask you a personal question? And they always say yes. And I say, are you only feeling this way in your Cincy journey, or are you feeling this in other areas of your life? And you can stop for a second and listen and to your heart if you need to. They don't have to stop. They don't have to ponder. They don't need time to think over this question. Almost immediately, every single time, whoever I'm talking to right then and there says, you know what? I'm feeling kind of down in my marriage too, or I'm feeling discouraged at my job, my other job, my real job, whatever. Or you know what, I've been struggling with a family situation, and it's been heavy on my heart. Almost every single time I see that, even though they're saying they're discouraged in their Cincy journey, it almost always isn't just their Cincy journey. In fact, a lot of times we dig deeper and find out that their Cincy journey is maybe one of the only positive influences in their entire day. If you're discouraged in your marriage, discouraged in your family, discouraged at your job, discouraged in your life, discouraged with your health, discouraged on every, oh my gosh, every level of your being, then of course your Cincy journey is going to be impacted. You can't make your Cincy journey positive when you're letting in so much negativity and discouragement in every other platform of your life. Like, I feel like that we have to just really diagnose and take into account how much of our day is negatively influenced before we can truly say, oh, my Cincy journey is, or my Cincy business is in a rut, or my Cincy business is discouraging, or I'm frustrated in Cincy. Sure, you may be. And I'm sure there are situations, and there have been in my life, where it's been only Cincy that has been a source of discouragement, but 9 times out of 10, or maybe even 10 times out of 10, you're probably going to find that you're dealing with discouragement and negativity and frustration in a lot of different areas of your life, and it's not just one channel, it's all of them. So keeping myself separated from negativity as much as possible has been game changing, but then also just making sure that I'm doing my part to serve others, and I'm finding ways to be a positive light to others lets light into my soul as well. So I don't know if this is helpful. I don't know if you found yourself in a rut lately of discouragement, but I just have to ask you to look at the 5, maybe 10 last conversations you've had in social media, on your phone, in person, and really diagnose those and give them 1 or 2 labels. Were they positive or were they negative? And when you look at those last 5 or 10 conversations that you've had, it doesn't mean that the person is bad. It just may be that you need to find more positive channels for light and happiness, and then realign yourself and your goals and your everyday actions to bringing you, I don't know, like in the path of happiness rather than the negativity and the drama and the, oh my gosh, listen what happens. Like, you don't need that every day in your life. You don't maybe even need it every week in your life. Like, those should be the exceptions to the rules, not the everyday norm. And so, yeah, align yourself with light, find someone that you can serve, take into consideration how much negative you're taking into your day, and just kind of make better choices when it comes to that, and see what happens. I really feel like that it could be the ticket to you not feeling super discouraged even in your Cincy journey as well. Yeah, so I hope this helps.